Hello there, everybody. This is going to be Jund League number 37, doing the exact same list as League number 36. The difference between 35 and 36, again, was I switched the numbers of Nile's Spellbomb and Cleansing Wildfire. Other than that, this is my no-nonsense list. I played something very similar to a 5-4 finish in the Mana Trader series. Not super impressive, but 5-4 is fine. Done some tuning since then, hence the sideboard changes. I'm still really liking the 2 Terminates as the 2 mana removal spell flex spot. Lately, I have had some scenarios where I would have wanted a more wide catch-all like Trophy or a Abrupt Decay, because some of the permanents I've been needing to deal with haven't all been creatures. That said, they usually are, and I still like the upside of not giving the opponent a land, or not being able to kill something like a Gurmag Angler or a Thought-Knot Seer or a Reality Smasher, for example. So I still think Terminate probably the best choice for this 2 mana removal spell. Still playing a split of 3 bolt to 3 push. Again, a consideration of there's lots of stuff that outsizes the Lightning Bolt, opposing Tarmogoyfs, also Death Shadows, and now Scourge of the Skyclaves. Cling to Dust has been a consistent overperformer, so still playing 2 of those. And then Bloodbraid's still the best curve topper. Still playing my 1 Tireless Tracker. It's done pretty well in the slower, grindier matchups. And I guess as far as sideboard goes, Bitter Blossom still a consistent overperformer. I've been bringing it in a lot, and it's been very good a lot. Brutality doesn't have any one single really powerful mode, but all 3 modes tend to be pretty applicable in many different matchups. So the power from it definitely coming from its array of usefulness. When I do play against the creature matchups, I expect to bring in the extra Fatal Push. Spellbomb, pretty self-explanatory. Anything where the opponent has anything graveyard-related going, even if it's not something like Dredge, even if they're just playing like an Uro deck, I'll be bringing in Spellbombs. Ashiok fitting in those regards as well. And then we've got some more dedicated land hate slots in both Damping Sphere and Cleansing Wildfire, trying to pick apart the larger mana strategies, as well as even versus things like 4-color Shadow, maybe taking off a color with something like Cleansing Wildfire. And the Damping Sphere also has its utility versus stuff like Storm, obviously. Then it's also got its uses versus the new Charbelcher deck, as well as Neoform. So I like Damping Sphere now as a flex spot versus lots and lots of the unfair stuff. So let's take a look at the current modern metagame that is driving this deck build decision. We've got Uro Piles still in first. We've got 5-color Humans still in second. Black-Red Shadow / Scourge of the Skyclaves is still climbing the ranks up to 3 from 4 last time. Girl Midrange subverted recently by Black-Red Shadow, followed by Blue-White Stoneblade, and then Jund, our hero, a consistent between 5th and 8th place right around now. Mill still making top ranks. Death and Taxes even still sticking in top 7. And then the various Titan decks and Blitz decks and other mid-range combo-y decks like Grixis, Shadow, and I guess those are the budget ones out there, and Devoted Devastation. I'm lingering in the 11th through 15th spots. So with that said, let me close this window, and we'll get into a league. We're not going first. We've got a pretty great hand. Lots of relevant interaction. Our curve is topping at Liliana the Veil, which we're missing a land for, but on top of all of our interaction, we've got a threat. Pretty nice one overall. The things that I'm looking for generally in an open hand are mana to cast my spells in the form of lands, disruption, threats, and then I guess, some sort of card advantage. Card advantage, probably one of the lesser important ones, just because the spells that matter are the important ones to have, and then card advantage, just finding those important spells. All right, well, speaking of important spells, we've got Liliana of the Veil. I am going to hope that this Inquisition doesn't see multiple other creatures. All right, well, it does. So, but they're also missing the lands. I really want this Liliana to be able to edict the one thing that they've suited up. So I'm really going to try to take all the creatures to prevent them from flooding the board with more, such that the Liliana is powerful and is able to kill the one thing that they've got. Now, they've got a core Spirit Dancer, but they're missing the lands. All right, they hit it immediately, unfortunately. This can be bolted, though, so our hopes are still alive as far as Liliana-ing, unless they decide to just suit this thing up right now. Okay, so we've got a shot. So I'm going to, I guess, shock in a Blood Crypt, or I can fetch Shock Stomping Ground now. Both of these lands are coming in untapped. All right, but I definitely feel like I need to get rid of the core Spirit Dancer. There's a debate between what do I want to use between Terminate and Lightning Bolt. I think I actually want to use the Terminate because in a race scenario, Bolt can at least go to face. So I'll get Stomping Ground. Getting Stomping Ground now does one of two things. It makes my mana better now. In addition to, if I draw another land like Blackleaf Cliffs next turn, it saves me the most life in the long run, not having to possibly shock the Blood Crypt. So we're really just going to hope that they haven't drawn another creature exactly this turn. And it looks like they haven't, unless it's Dryad Arbor. Fetch land would be bad for us because that would get Dryad Arbor. Alright, so after this Liliana does its job, I think we may be in easy mode. Still need to avoid other creatures. They're going to have a Rancor at a minimum to put on their thing. But if they can't put another creature into play right now to pressure the Liliana, we're going to get another unload off of it. So I think I'm going to discard a Lightning Bolt here. I'll just prioritize having my actual threats. Bolts probably aren't doing much other than going to face anyway. And I do want to get the Ravine down. So next turn, I can play a Scavenging Ooze and have a green available if I play Tarmogoyf this turn. Tarmogoyf also the harder hitter, so I think playing that may just be right anyway. And having a green up may actually be relevant, because if we choose to Edict them again, we're going to want to possibly eat the Rancor that they put on it with the Scavenging Ooze. Interesting also that they're not companioning Lurrus. I wonder what that could mean. I don't think they'd have any auras that cost more than 2. Alright, so I've had Bitter Blossom be very good, just because it's able to block a lot extra. I don't really think we need Cleansing Wildfire. I mean, it's possible it's good just as a redraw, but we've got some more effective redraws than Nile Spellbomb. Nile Spellbomb also takes care of the Rancor if it ever becomes relevant, and they may also be playing Griff's Boon, which gives +1/+0 and flying, and they can pay for it or return it from the graveyard. Definitely going to take out all the spot removal. Fatal Push is not going to do a lot. We can kill the core Spirit Dancer that we saw. Fatal Push can kill core Spirit Dancer even if it's already suited up with a bunch of pumps, whereas Lightning Bolt cannot. But Lightning Bolt can go to face, and if they suit up a core Spirit Dancer, I'm not sure we're winning that game anyway. So maybe it's better to just have the bolts instead. And again, if I'm playing a redraw, I think it's going to be Spellbomb. Not just because I can split the mana investment between 2 turns, but also because, like I said, there are some graveyard things that may be relevant. I could bring in Collector Brutality. This is another way to kill core Spirit Dancer, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. The Duress mode may come in handy for taking something like a Path to Exile, but remember, it's not actually duress. It only takes instants and sorceries. I think this configuration is probably as good as it's going to get. I'm going to hope to see no Leyline of the Void. Leyline of the Void is going to take away lots of our good ways to interact, like Inquisition and Thoughtseize. We've got Liliana. Liliana is our best tool, assuming no Leyline of the Void. But we're also missing a black mana. And we don't have a fetch land to combo with the Wrenn and 6. I already updated my record update, but I'm going to mulligan. I think it'd be closer if we had a fetch land to actually guarantee the second black. The opponent has also mulliganed. Alright. This is better. Again, we don't have the turn 1 hand disruption. But we do have Liliana. If they've got another creature that doesn't have hexproof somehow, we can get it out of the way to hopefully make the edict better. It's a little risky, but I think I'm going to keep. Alright, they didn't have Leyline, so maybe I should have mulliganed more aggressively. But it's hard to mulligan aggressively, especially when the opponent is on the play, because if they've got the one creature and they get to just play it anyway, then it's less good. May still be good enough, but we're just going to really have to hope they don't have multiple creatures on their mulligan. And this is likely to get Stomping Ground, so I have the trifecta of duels. Alright, so I have to respond to that. And unfortunately that means the Liliana is not going to be able to edict the same turn that it comes down. And that fetch doesn't actually fetch unless I'm paying 2, so let's just play a Tarmogoyf. I mean, if they can't trample or fly over the Tarmogoyf, I can still try to get this Liliana into play and edict on the following turn, but by then they have a warning. Alright, well now that they can officially fly over the Tarmogoyf. And they have an additional creature. Alright, so this is going to be hard. Alright, well I guess the last card isn't the +3/+3 Vigilance Lifelink shenanigans. So if I get Liliana into play right now, I can't even plus it. So that means I'm not gonna have an edict loaded up next turn. So maybe what I should be doing is I should just be playing the Wooded Foothills, and then I can pay the 2 off of the suppression field to sacrifice it. Alternatively, I could Shock Blood Crypt. I mean, I could just get Liliana down. I can't even plus it, though, so it doesn't really seem that great. There's a chance if I can bolt the opponent, I can blow out the Gleed Clever Scout in some form of block. So I think I'll just Blood Crypt tap, then say go, and then next turn I'm going to Blood Braid and hope to hit something good. And then the turn after that, I could Liliana, but I'm not even guaranteeing that unless I'm using this turn to sacrifice the Wood of Foothills paying 2. So yeah, maybe I think I should definitely get the Wood of Foothills down, especially because if my plan this turn is only Lightning Bolt anyway, I can still fetch and Lightning Bolt. Alright, Arbor I can actually bolt. So, as a way to conserve life, I've already got all my colors. I'll just get the mountain so I can bolt this turn. Alright, it's Bloodbraid time. I guess it... Does it net save me a life if I play Peatland here and then maybe want to shock in a Blood Crypt next turn? If I draw like a fetch light next turn and I fetch, I'm still losing 3 total. Whereas I lose 4 total if I'm tapping Peatland now and shocking and tapping Peatland next turn. So I guess it does save some life playing Peatland first if I draw a fetch and choose to fetch instead of shocking a Blood Crypt. So yeah, let's do it. I mean, Liliana would be a good hit, even though it doesn't necessarily work out very well. Right, Inquisition's fine too. I suspect their hand's not very good. Leyline, sure. All right, and I guess I should start attacking. I don't know why they changed the color on the Goyf text box. That's kind of hard to see now. All right, I'll attack with I guess both. Them attacking for an additional 1 I don't think means a whole lot. I need to get them dead as much as they're trying to get me dead. Like, I could hold back a block, but there are a few auras that make blocks no longer good anyway. I mean, they probably should have sacked Canopy, unless their hope is to actually just put Leyline into play, which would insulate versus Liliana. Their plan is put Leyline into play. Alright. Wait, they shocked and then just didn't want to play Leyline? Oh, I guess they couldn't actually sacrifice Canopy, right? Because of their own suppression field. That's my bad. I guess they're shocking now because now they can sacrifice it. Alright, and I actually did draw the fetch, so I'm gonna end up net saving a life here, which is nice. And this is nice too because I can get a forest. Oh no, I don't. I'm being very loose. I'm sorry. Luckily I caught it though. I can't actually fetch because of the suppression field. I can, but then I can activate Liliana, so I do have to shock. So I'm not net losing a life. It's the same as it would have been. And then 7's a pretty safe life total as far as drawing only 1 aura goes, but if they sacrifice Canopy and hit double aura, I could be in trouble. I mean, this means they're not blocking. Unless they sacrifice their Bogle. Alright, and this is 4-5, so I mean, we're hitting them to 2. So, I mean, I think their only realistic out is they've drawn an aura and will draw another one and can suit both up. But even then, they can't block both. Both auras are going to have to combine to kill me here. Okay. If they have the one that's +1/+1 for each aura they control, that would work. Daybreak Coronet would also maybe do it. Alright, they ran hot. We're not dead. So we need to hit... I guess not... Another Liliana doesn't even work, because we can't pay the life off of Peatland anymore. This is 4-5. Yeah, they needed a Coronet or the +1/+1 for all enchantments and hit an aura. We know their last card is Leyline. So if we plus, we know they're discarding Leyline. That does grow the Goyf up to a 5-6, and but they're not actually forced to block anymore. If I sacrifice Peatland, basically tapping out to do so, there's nothing I could hope to hit. It's only Fatal Push or Lightning Bolt. Is that a thing? If I hit... Okay, so like if I hit a Fatal Push or a Lightning Bolt and they block my Blood Braid for whatever reason, I could kill the Blood Braid and still hit them. But that's not hitting them for enough. I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I'm just dead. Yeah, the Coronet really did it. And then their Suppression Field sideboard card obviously did its job. We're on the play now though, which is a big difference. We saw that they've got Leyline of Sanctity, so we're just gonna have to hope they don't have it. This is a matchup, granted, where Trophy or Decay would be beneficial over Terminate because you can kill auras or Leyline. Just gonna resubmit. Just gonna have to hope they don't have it. I mean, assuming we can find another land, this is the nuts. And they also have to have no Leyline. I mean, a lot has to go right. It starts with turn 0. They've got it. So, should I shock to get Spellbomb in play? Maybe not. I'll say no. I'll play Stomping Ground tapped. And the next turn I'll shock into Bitter Blossom. Stomping Ground I think is better over the Blood Crypt because again if I draw like Blackleaf Cliffs I can play this painlessly. They didn't have the 1 mana play though. Alright, well we drew Swamp, so that also lets me play Bitter Blossom painlessly.
Is Sultai making noise?
I think he's in his crate. Can you check?
Give me one second. Sounds like
Alright, well they didn't keep a hand with creatures in it. I guess they kept it on strength of Leyline. Alright, we drew a dead one unfortunately. We could just get the Liliana down and start plussing. A way we definitely lose is that the opponent has just auras that are sufficient enough to just like they can get Dryad Arbor and start hitting us that way. So let's say yes to this. The other consideration is to play Tarmogoyf and just really start getting the pressure down. I think that may actually be beneficial. It's like at the end of it, this may end up turning into a race. So I'll just use all my mana casting a Tarmogoyf and a Spellbomb, and then next turn I'll start plussing to put stuff in the yard and growing the Goyf.
broadcast the criminal.
What did he do?
He ate the donuts. He ate like 2 of the donuts, I think. Let me...
What a doofus.
Yeah, he's got sugar on his chin. How did he get them? I saw him, dude, he peeked me around the table and he looked at me like, oh shit.
Yeah, Milena made donuts from scratch. Angel Louis deserves donuts? Yeah, but if we give them to him. Not if he just feels like he deserves them. Alright, well, Trample is going to make Bitter Blossom on the hard side. And we have Bolt instead of Push, so if we draw a Bolt, it's going to look pretty silly. Now he deserves insulin. Alright, well, we drew another Inquisition, so this is not panning out well.
He's looking at his fucking face. Hey, I'm not leaving this room. Go to your bed. Go to your bed. Go to your bed. I'm not leaving you.
There goes a Daybreak. Jeez, their hand's got to be nuts. They just, like, have to have another Daybreak. I mean, this is the power of Leyline.
What did you do? What did you do?
I need you to stop that.
Sugar off your
Jeez, what is this? Oh, first strike. I mean, as long as it's not lifelink. Lifelink really puts us out of range. This is really big, though. I mean, 2 more auras just kill us. One of them is ethereal armor? Jeez. Alright, so we need to hit Maelstrom Pulse. We also need to block with the Goyf, or else the Bitter Blossom is going to kill us. They hit us for 16, we block with the Fairy. The Fairy is just going to kill us.
I just sent you the video.
Alright, so this is definitely chumping that, and this can jump in front of there. Now, we have to hit exactly Pulse, and then find a way to not die to Bitter Blossom. Alright, we didn't hit it. We're just dead. Missing a color, but we've got lots of spells we can cast with the 2 colors we have. I'm going to take the Mana Leak. The Force is a 0 mana counterspell, but at least it 2-for-1s them. Fetch land would be excellent here. They could obviously force the Renin 6. Oh, I thought I passed. My bad. Yikes. Alright. Go. Alright, well, we can cling it. And it's their turn, so there's no forcing. They good Mana Leak. It worked. Phew. Alright, well. And we are dead. That gets Field of the Dead. Again, trophy would have made that bearable, but even if we had the trophy, we would have had to find Maelstrom Pulse for all the existing zombies. So even then, not necessarily a game we can win, but it's possible. I'm going to do my best to take care of all of the Uros preemptively instead of reactively. Things like the Cling to Dust, Nile Spellbomb, Scavenging Oozes, and Ashiok will hopefully exile the Uros before they enter play. Gonna cut a Glyph. It's gonna be a resource match. Like whoever has the most resources and or best resources is likely to be ahead. Glyph doesn't actually generate anything. I'm not short on having clocks, so I'll cut one of my less resource generating ones. Every time I've kept a hand with 2 Nile Spellbombs and I've had access to 3, I've drawn the 3rd one really early. So let's see if we can continue the pattern. Alright, Liliana's a nice one, but we do need to hit a land. I could, given that I have 2 Spellbombs, just cycle the first one as an attempt to hit it. Could have Brutality'd there, but I think I still like holding it when I'm not guaranteed to be able to pair it with something. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm going to jam it and then just really hope they don't have it. If they do, it's unfortunate, but this could be like their growth spiral turn. They forced. Alright, forcing is better than mana leaking or remanding. So if I knew I was going to draw 3rd lands, and I think there's definitely an argument to brutalitying, but like if I don't draw the land, what am I doing with my turn after I brutality? Like they're just gonna have infinite time to find something else before I get to try to stick the Liliana again. All right, now this is a little trickier. Like I could Cleansing Wildfire just to get the redraw in. I don't want to not use any mana this turn. I think I do want to start drawing some more cards. Cleansing Wildfire, not one of my more impressive sideboard cards. It's mainly to kill the value generating lands like Field of the Dead and Valakut if they're playing Valakut and Dryad. They're not playing Temur though, so they don't have mountains naturally. I'm assuming they're not playing Dryad. For purposes of using mana, I'll just go ahead and do this now. I do want to start finding more impactful spells. And I could Brutality now, but I think I'm going to want to pair the Brutality with the Kolaghan's command. It's pretty likely this Bloodbraid Elf isn't long for this world, in which case I'm going to want to try to Brutality to combo with Kolaghan's command to buy it back and continue the value engine. Don't really see a reason to pop any spell bombs yet. They're pretty close to being able to escape an Uro if they stack their triggers correctly. But even then, they don't have mana to do both play it and escape it in one turn. So I think we're safe to just leave the spell bombs unpopped. My next turn's mana is already kind of tied up anyway. So no matter what I draw, my play is going to be similar. Alright, Ashiok's a good one. That may even be something I want to combo with the Brutality over the Kolaghan's command, but When the opponent's got all unloaded, unused mana, Bloodbraid is kind of the perfect thing to cast into it. Cling, not one of the more powerful hits, but we'll take a draw. So that's gonna get Field of the Dead and 2 zombies. I mean, had I Ashiok, this could have possibly been prevented. But I mean, this Field of the Dead is gonna be pretty hard to beat, especially since I've already blown the Cleansing Wildfire. So definitely stuff I could have done to try to prevent this. But how do I move forward from here? I mean, I have to find, as far as getting rid of this Field of the Dead goes, I have to find the other Cleansing Wildfire. Think I'm trying to get this Goyf down. I could attack with a Bloodbraid in hopes of buying it back, but that doesn't seem very progressive. I mean, they've got Field of Ruin in play. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to play Goyf and then use Goyf and Bloodbraid to put the shields up for the Ashiok. If they have another force, then none of this matters. Okay, they didn't. So I've got instant land sorcery right now. Goyf isn't going to shrink past zombies, so let's exile theirs. I like exiling theirs when I don't care too much about my Goyf size, because they do play lots of 1-ofs, and nabbing some off of an Ashiok can cut their options. Jeez. Alright, well, they can't escape an Uro. They also can't Cryptic. They can Growth Spiral. There's also just like the other Field of the Dead now. Other Field of the Dead is going to be very important for them. I need to heavily outweigh that Field of the Dead. Because like if I find the answer to their first one, I need an answer. I need a way to deal with the second one, and I just don't have that. So I need to make sure this field goes to the yard. So, I mean, it sucks giving them all these spells. I have to hope this Brutality is going to be able to combo with my other Cleansing Wildfire. Like, they probably still just take Field of the Dead here. They didn't? Okay. I mean, we've got the onboard Ashiok to deal with it. Yeah, so I definitely had control over this game to a degree. Hit an Abrupt Decay, alright. It's not looking good, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe I should have even played the Ooze before activating Ashiok, and then I could eat something, just so the Ooze is bigger than a zombie. But the Blast Zone makes it really not matter. Yep, this is just gonna happen. Like, I could be blocking with Bloodbraid or the Ooze and then trying to buy one back. But I'm going to start stacking Spell Bombs and trying to draw cards. Even if I find the Pulse at this point, it just doesn't matter. I need to find Cleansing Wildfire into the Pulse somehow. Got a couple of redraws. It's going to have to be pretty lucky. There's the Wildfire. I mean, I've got the Brutalities to really try to sneak them through. Alright, so reveal your hand. I mean, I know they've got at a minimum a single counter. Multiple counters is going to be heartbreaking. We knew about this Delta, my bad. Alright, I could double check and make sure the way is clear. I mean, they can't Cryptic anymore. They can still Mana Leak and Force of Negation. And they're out of double blue though. So it's gotta be Force Exiled or just cast a Mana Leak. Alright, please work. I'll leave the green available for Ooze. What is this targeting? Cryptic. Exile the Cryptic. You want to Field to Ruin me too? Get another zombie? More zombies. So now I think I'm just going to have to chump block everything. And then pray I hit a pulse and that they don't have counters for it. Shock. Field to Ruin me. Get another zombie. I get Forest so I can activate Ooze again. You get another zombie. Bitter Blossom a little bit late to the party. Somehow not out of it if we can find the pulse. 9 zombies I blocked 2, that has me taking 14. Oh, it just straight doesn't matter. Alright, you win. Pretty brutal league so far. Keeper. Nothing to do on 1, but we got a Ren and 6 with a fetch land on 2. Followed by a catch-all and a threat. Uh-oh. So I can get Forest now. And if they somehow don't have Blood Moon, I can get Swamp on the following turn. I do think that Forest is the more important land to have, just because it lets you get your Glyphs and your Blood Braids and your Oozes out. I mean, as far as red green mid range is concerned, Verdant Catacombs is one of the best cards in the deck. Two out rally. Yeah, we can hope. If they just Blood Moon us, so there's not much we can do. Alright, well, they're not Blood Mooning us, but they're doing the next worst thing. Can't exactly Maelstrom Pulse their Ren and 6. It kills ours as well. We've got backup Ren and 6, but I mean, not ideal. If they play another Utopia Sprawl, I might pulse that. Okay, I'll pulse it. Cuts them off a lot of extra mana. So I'm gonna get Swamp if their plan allows me to. Really don't want them playing a 5-drop next turn. Something I could have done was minus Ren and 6 and use the bolt to kill their Ren and 6. But I like cutting off 2 mana from their upcoming turn as well. Oh, they're not red green. Alright, well, our oozes are gonna get to deal with the Utopia Sprawl. From their start I assumed red green. I don't know many Uro decks that play a Utopia Sprawl. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I'm getting this ooze down. Inquisitioning would also be nice. If I Inquisition though and play ooze, I am not able to both activate ooze and play lightning bolt. Doesn't really look like I'm gonna have a good turn for it anyway. I could always Inquisition first and then use that to determine if I want to hold up an activation or not. I mean, odds like I'm gonna want to activate are really, really high though. Just with the knowns, they're able to escape an Uro next turn if I take another card out of their hand and they have any other land. I guess it has to be a fetch, but literally anything in their yard means they get to play it. So how do I want to navigate this? I think it's just gonna be the same plan. I'm gonna lead on Inquisition. I'm gonna play Scavenging Ooze, and then I'm gonna hold up an activation. May just want to pop off the activation immediately. Of course, it's Omnath. Alright, well, Abrupt Decay is going to get to deal with Ooze, but at least we're going to get to hit their Uro. I'm assuming Glittering Wish is just like another copy of Omnath. So I should probably just take the Decay so they can't deal with my permanents. Although maybe it's better if I just let them 1-for-1 me. Glittering Wish is really scary. I'm going to probably have to use this Lightning Bolt to combo with the Ren and 6 to kill the Omnath. So I've got to answer to Omnath. Do I want to have to answer a second one? I think I'm okay if I let them 1-for-1 me with the Decay. I'll take a Wish. Alright, and then do I want to continue getting basics? Probably not. But I do want to get value off of Ren and 6. I'll fetch this. We've got Stomping Ground. Let's just make it an Overgrown Tomb. It has me only 1 red in play, but that's probably fine at this stage. Say yes. Play Ooze. Get back my land. Does timing on this matter? I mean, I know their hand. I guess I could upkeep it so they can sacrifice their foothills however they want. Alright, now I'll do it. I could draw step it too, but there's no reason to wait, I don't think. And like they can pop my my Renin 6 with the Erupt Decay, but I've got backup. I still intend on 2 for winning myself to get rid of the Omnath. What is this? You need white for that. I mean, you've got a Foothills in your yard. I mean, if they're just going to play Omnath here, and then I can kill it with the Renin 6 and the Bolt, I can then attack their Renin 6 for 4 after eating their Omnath. Things could be going worse. Alright, definitely going to try to kill this Omnath here. Puts us away from ultimate, but I think that's fine. Let's just make sure that their Omnath doesn't get to stick around for too long. Don't think they're playing Bolt. Let's get it out of range. They're playing red. I mean, they're playing Omnath. They're playing everything but black. And try to get their Renin 6 dead. Definitely going to eat their Wooded Foothills if they target it. They may just lead on the Decay, but they don't have black mana. Oh, there it is. I guess they are just playing straight 5 color. Maybe it's Niv. Niv Mizzet. Should I eat anything else? Don't think my life total is likely to matter a whole lot. That said, let me just reduce cards in their yard for Uro. I'm going to make sure to leave 1 Utopia Sprawl because enchantment's going to make my Glyph a little bit bigger. Cycle and buyback. Yep. I guess I shouldn't have cleared it, but oh well. We do get to kill their Renin 6 still with the Ravine that's in play. Should I fetch Shock Blood Crypt just so there's more value to get back with Renin 6? Probably. If they have Path to Exile, it's unfortunate, but not much I can do about it. Alright, Renin 6 down. So to note, Verdant doesn't actually get anything else because we've drawn our last swamp. But if we're fortunate enough to emblem a Renin 6, it's still worth the spell. Should I cycle this Cling to Dust? Don't think so. I'm probably going to want it to try to mitigate an Uro. I'm going to want to do that at 1 mana. That said, my turn's mana isn't necessarily tied up in anything other than activating Ravine. I mean, they'd have to push it or trophy it or something now. Bolt no longer kills it. I'll just wait for it. Alright, so I guess in the event that our Raging Ravine dies and I want to buy it back, I should hold off on a Renin 6 activation. Because maybe I want to buy the Ravine back. Jam. I guess this has to be the Niv attack, right? Smack ya? Smack ya, okay. I mean, I guess I'm just buying back Verdant and playing Stomping Ground tapped then. Like, I could play Swamp to have Fatal Push available. I don't know that that's good for anything, though. I suppose it's relatively free. It just saves me life next turn if I don't shock. Play it tapped. I mean, I'm going to try to Emblem next turn if they don't do something about it. Which means I guess I'm not playing any more lands, huh? Because I want everything to be... I want absolutely as many Maelstrom Pulses and Lightning Bolts as I can get. Darn. So the Renin 6 is going to ping my Renin 6, I'm guessing. Keep it off ultimate. Alright, so I guess Triome is something valid to exile because of their Venom 6. It'll help them draw some extra cards. Alright, Terminate, not exactly what we're looking for. Nor is another What If a Hills. That at least gets a land out of our deck. That gets basic Mountain. Crap, I should not have played that land yet. Because now I can't replay the Ravine if they can get rid of it the first go around. But I mean, they couldn't get rid of it last turn, and I'm assuming this turn they drew Renin 6. So question now is, do I hit the Renin 6 or do I hit them? Hitting them puts them to 6. The issue is like they have so many things like Uro that just make it so hard to come back. So I think I should just prioritize killing their Planeswalker, because if they can fade another way to hit my Renin 6, ultimate is the way that we win. I'm assuming this attack is going to work based on the fact that last turn's attack worked. Okay. Alright, let's get our last fetchable. And get our last little bit of value off this run before it goes away. Hopefully. Go. So if they draw Uro here, this attack at the Renin 6 is gonna look real smart. That's a redraw. They could also just like draw a Niv-Mizzet and then just like literally cascade, but the play could cascade into like a whole bunch of stupid stuff. Did they actually hit it? They actually hit it. Looks like. Oh, Omnath, even arguably worse. I've got Terminate, though. Alright, so if they fetch, I'm definitely going to respond. Them drawing the card now isn't as relevant. I definitely want to prevent the landfall as opposed to anything else. Hopefully they sacrifice this before playing another land, but no, they're smart. Yep, resolves. If they try to make mana, I'm definitely just going to pop off the Terminate. Alright, well in their end step, I doubt there's anything they could actually do, so let's pop off Terminate now. Alright. Emblem. Alright. At this point, I don't even know that I want to activate Ravine, now that they have access to so many extra things. I'm definitely going to fire off at least one bolt now, so I can get value off of this Renin 6. And I'm not even going to play lands, I guess. This is a hit for 7. I mean, I guess it really puts the onus on them to have an answer. Oop, I needed to tap red a while back, huh? Red. I'm assuming the attack is still going to work. Omnath was their draw, so unless Omnath hit something. Alright, and these fetches don't actually get anything else. I guess I should play the Swamp just because now I can Cling to Dust. Omnath. Alright, so You're playing Utopia Sprawl, so Cleansing Wildfire could be a clean 2-for-1. Bitter Blossom's probably going to be good. I expect Nile Spellbound to be good versus the various Uros. They play a lot of fetches, probably some extra utility lands that they can search for as well. I think I'm going to take out the Bolts. They don't deal with the Uros very well, and Burn isn't really a good strategy either versus Uro. Fatal Push at least kills Uro and Omnath, but I don't think that's reason enough to bring in another one. Still need 6 cuts from here. Don't think I want to play the 1-for-1 game. I've got Push to do that. Maybe I just want Terminate over Push. I mean, obviously Push costs less and hits both things, but it hits both things at the cost of needing Revolt. K-Command kills nothing. Buying back a creature not going to be super relevant. Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes look a little silly late game. Thoughtseize is probably better because it takes Omnath. I think I'll shave some of those. Didn't look like they were playing a whole lot of counters. I'm assuming they're Niv-to-Light. So I need one more cut. Maybe it is just another push. I think everything else is probably just more important.
Is anything registering?
We kept 2 pushes in hopes for him to answer arrows, and we drew them both a little too quickly. This hand's better though. I would love to ditch a land and just hopefully say that I'll draw another. Cling is important for beating Uro. This is tight. Like, this is a very good 7, but having to ship 1 is gonna hurt. I'm pretty sure I want to guarantee I can hit this Liliana on 3. Maybe I should just bottom the Cling. Feels bad, but I mean this is a fine 6. Alright, we hit the land immediately. Go. Alright, so this will get probably Stomping Ground. So that way I can go like Stomping Ground, then Blackleaf Cliffs. Then if I want to do this as painlessly as possible, I could get basic Swamp with a Bloodstained Mire. Alright, well they don't have the fetch to combo that with, but it makes Cleansing Wildfire look a little silly. Can't quite ping this dead. I mean, luckily we've got the Peatland for our 3rd mana source. I mean, we can pressure this Ashiok. If they mill us, then obviously it's not going to hit for anything, but playing Liliana and plussing will help it do something. Oh, yes, that's obviously quite good. Wow. Blowout. More fetches. Wildfiring them does absolutely nothing in the face of Ren and 6. If they have another land, then it also does absolutely nothing. These fetches aren't doing anything. They got a land. Hey, at least we had a spell. That's good. They milled himself. 2 Niv Mizzets and some good spells. Okay. Well, if we had a land, not a fetch land, Red and 6 would be very good. Still can't really Cleansing Wildfire. They've got Red and 6 in play, which makes that play look really stupid. I mean, I guess I should probably just Nile Spellbomb and try to get the redraw. If I Cleansing Wildfire them and I redraw and hit an untapped land that isn't a fetch, I could Nile Spellbomb to get their land away. But that's pretty rough. I think I'm going to plus and just discard the Wildfire at this stage. Like, they don't have the draw where the Wildfire is good. Eldamri's Call. Alright, we do another fetch. Alright, plus. Discard fetch. Target me, sure. Oh, you hit my mountain. Alright, now in hopes of really hitting this untapped land, I'll sack the spell bomb. We did it. And an Ashiok of our own. Alright, well I'm definitely gonna try to pressure this either Planeswalker. I mean, let's just see what that Cascade hits and then use that to decide. Like Bolt, I guess would be we hit the fatal pushes that we left in. Oh my god. Brutal. I guess let's just kill the Ashiok. At least turn some fetching back on. And I'm not even gonna plus. I think my Ashiok is probably good enough to keep. Well, we kept in 2 spot removal spells and they've really bitten us. Alright, it's Niv time, huh? Yep. I mean, I guess we've got Liliana on board to deal with it. If they somehow hit almost nothing. They hit almost nothing. They don't get Omnath. They do get Uro and Trophy, though. Alright, this is something we may be able to sustain. Whoa, they even minused on the Liliana, which means we get to kill their Ren and 6? Alright, we're somehow in this game now. Thanks, opponent. So they've got Trophy, they've got Uro, and they've got something else. So I'm thinking I want to Ashiok here to make their fetch lands worse. I mean, there could just be another Niv. If it is, we're in a bad spot. I'll Ashiok. It makes their Uro guaranteed worse just because we get to exile their whole yard. We hit another Uro. Let's get a swamp. Did not think we were in this game. We needed them to brick, and they somehow have. We've got Scavenging Ooze to exile this Uro. We've got pressure in play as well. We're not doing it yet, but we're getting there. Interesting that they played the Triome. Ooh, Liliana's also really good. They can't escape the Uro no matter what they do. I think I'm just gonna play out my hand here. Liliana kind of the nutty draw here. Again, I'm not activating my Ooze, but I'm getting the last card out of their hand. If they play another Niv-Mizzet, I have an answer. Alright, we need him to start bricking. I mean, if they can brick even just this turn, I think I can get ahead. Niv-to-Mizzet or Bring to Light would be pretty backbreaking, but if we can dodge it, hey, we did.
So I caught him with his paws on the table, standing. The second time. There's only 4 left. I need 12. I had 2. So I have sugar knockout.
I don't think the Goyf play was a punt. The only thing that really bit me there is if they had exactly Ashiok, right? I guess any way to empty all graveyards would have worked. And I think it's only Ashiok that does that. Everything else, like all the other graveyard hate, I guess Relic doesn't do it. But like all the other graveyard hate puts something in the yard. I guess like if they have Nile Spellbomb, they could Spellbomb target themselves. So yeah, I mean it had to be specifically graveyard hate. Right, that has to cast multicolored spells. Alright, looks like we're against the same deck. I'll get Blood Crypt. Gonna have to really lean on the power of the Planeswalkers here. Running 6 of your own. Alright, so Liliana does almost nothing. Can't pulse their run in 6. That gets rid of ours as well. They know about the mire. Let's discard that one. Blood Braid. More run in 6. These removal spells and stuff looked silly. I feel like the second I take him out is the second I play the league where like I play only Shadow though. I think a match where we're each going land go is a match where I lose versus Niv-to-Light. Damn. I mean, my run in 6 is ultimating first. That's my only real reprieve. If I can ultimate my run in 6, then pulse theirs, and just have as many pulses as my heart desires, that's the way to win. Don't know that they're going to have Grave Hate in the main deck. It's looking like my most likely way to win is this run in 6. But they trophied Liliana. Maybe they were just worried about that ultimate before the run in 6 ultimate. I mean, they happen at the same speed. If I curve run into Lily. Enough time. Alright, well, I mean, I get to kill this thing. Should I use Fatal Push or Terminate? I guess there's no guarantee that I'm going to have Revolt, so I should probably, like on future turns, so I guess I should probably just use the Fatal Push. Blood Braid. Use removal spells. So now they can use their run in 6 to ping my run in 6. They're not. I mean, I think they like have to try to get me off of ultimate here. I mean, if they're just playing a Niv-Mizzet, that's something I can beat. Especially with an emblem. Like, Niv-Mizzet, I guess they're bringing to lighting for an answer to Niv. So to an answer to Ren and 6. Yeah, Battle of the Rens. I mean, mine's get ultimate and theirs isn't. They're just getting Abrupt Decay. Sure, I guess. These removal spells have just been teasing me. I just keep drawing all of them. Now it's Niv time. I mean, I guess it's that time too. I guess now I'll use the Fatal Push again. Terminates kill Nivs. I really need to start drawing Bloodbraid. 4 and 43. Just over 10%. Sorry, under. Well, if I'm going to draw a land, I guess I'm glad it's that one. Well, Bloodbraid just got a lot worse. I have my Ravine to hit the Teferi. If they plus it and my Ravine actually gets to connect, I could use the Red and 6 to ping it down. I guess I'll yield. I officially can't do anything in the face of this thing. Well, I haven't found the creature yet, so that's not as good. If they've got Helix, I'm going to want to make sure I can buy back the Ravine. So who should I even go after? If I hit the opponent for 4, and then I'm hitting them for 5, that's 9. That has them at 4. I'm going to need to find a Bolt, or between 2 pings and this Kolagon's command, I could kill them next turn. I mean, I could always Kolagon's command the Teferi next turn. I think I'm going to go at them and see if I connect. Because, like, they could have Helix here, and then none of this really matters. In which case, I'll just buy back the Ravine, replay the Ravine. But if this can get a counter on it, I think we're out of range. Unless they I guess another thing they could have is the Kaya's Guile. Alright, looks like I'm on the plus plan. Alright, maybe I do just Kolaghan's Command now then. Get this Teferi done with. I can no longer use it to effectively burn kill them, so let's just get this Teferi and another card out of their hand. Still need to fade a lot. They've got just any Omnath does really well for them. Any Niv-to-Light doesn't say any Bring to Light, any Niv Mizzet. They could also be playing Bloodbraid Elf or something stupid. Yeah, this is a grind fest, but I think it's because we've both drawn pretty poorly. More Renin 6. They don't have a cycle land in their yard though, so that's some reprieve. So it's really just battle the Renin 6s, huh? I mean, we've got Raging Ravine to hit theirs. Yeah, they're just going straight after mine. Jeez, just cannot catch a break. Alright, so do I want to go at them or do I want to continue working towards ultimate by killing their Renin 6? So this is gonna hit for 4 and then 5 and then 6. It is 15, so I'm dead in 3. They're dead in 3 hits if they do actual nothing. Three turns is a long time for them to draw nothing. I'm gonna go after the Ren. And if they somehow have another Lightning Helix, I'm waiting to play lands. And they've done actual nothing for a while. I would not be surprised if they had it. Is this the Guile? No, this is a lot of mana. Oh, it is Guile. They're doing all of the modes. Alright, well, I don't get to buy back Ravine. It's gonna get exiled. Should I use the Renin 6 just ping down their spirit? Probably. Just have not drawn anything. And their draws have to be so much better than mine. Because theirs are Niv Mizzet, their Bring to Light, their Kaya's Guile. Misty, yeah. So it would still be an excellent window for a Bloodbraid. I don't know how we've both drawn nothing for this long. This is game 1, right? Alright, that's our last fetchable. Our actual last fetchable. They're all in play. Alright, we hit something, finally. It attacks. How big even is it? This blue text is hard to see. 5'6"? Yeah, I'm playing creatures. Here's one. It only took 22 cards to find it, but I've got them. I feel like I either find all of my Bloodbraids or I find none of them. Yeah. You blessed it? Yeah. You did indeed. It seems like it. Hey, there's another one. Alright, let's try to kill this Renin 6 finally. Yeah, Kyle's Guile me again. Just to decay this time. Alright, well I got another one. And then again, we have all of our fetchables. I'm not going to pay a life just to buy a land back. Just plus on nothing. Oh, I guess I don't want to yield. Because if they play Niv, I'm going to want to kill it with the trigger on the stack. Sorry, not Niv, Omnath. I guess both I would want to kill with the trigger on the stack. They find the arrow. Alright, well I'm going to kill it with the trigger on the stack. They could still fetch here. Gain some life. That's their third Omnath. Alright, gain 4. Draw a card. These 1-for-1s just look so silly. They haven't found any of their Niv Mizzets yet somehow. We can again try to kill their Renin 6. Our Glyph is just big enough. Holy crap. Yeah, we get the thing. They're halfway through it, but like also they found 3 of their Omnaths. We're gonna get to Omnath if we can fade somehow again. We get to emblem the Renin 6, albeit it's not worth a whole lot right now. We've only got Terminate. Helix, yeah. Can we just start like nurturing Peatland and start drawing 2 a turn? Yeah, this is absolutely stupid. I will give it that. They're officially over halfway through their deck. Jeez. They did have access to a Niv if they wanted it, but they bring to lighted for a an Abrupt Decay to kill a Renin 6 that was gonna ultimate. This is like a blue light mirror. I mean, just about. Found another Glyph. This is gonna end like a Tron matchup where you get him on the wire of death and then they draw their payoff and kill you. Can't believe I've got a large group of viewers who's sticking around to watch this. Alright, they finally drew it, right? Or is this the Uro? Uro is gonna be difficult too. No, I think they finally just hit the Niv. Hooray, they hit it! Finally. Kill it. Alright, show me just like all of the spells you're about to hit. Alright, they didn't hit those. They didn't hit that or that or that. Alright, they drew 5. That's pretty good. They're gonna bring Delight for another one. Bluch. You have no more fetchables. Can I please get a Blood Braid? Can I please get a Blood Braid? Please, deck. It's gonna be land. Now it's gonna be Peatland. Oh joy. Oh joy. We got something. Just doesn't matter. Bring Delight's another Niv. Is this as Garfield intended? I'm not sure. They found an Uro, finally. That's like the other thing they were also breaking on. How do they not also find an Uro in all this time? Holy moly. Can you imagine if anyone drew anything like 10 turns ago? We could have just like gone. We could have been done with this match already, probably. This is insane. Am I even drawing live at this point? Probably not. What do I need to hit like Bloodbraid into Pulse? Isn't our Pulse gone though? Or am I thinking of last game? I'm thinking of last game where I pulsed their Utopia Sprawls. It's a fairy me too. Well, now Bloodbraid doesn't hit anything even if I find one. Watch, just give me Bloodbraid. Yeah, this game is the most stupid game I've played in a long time. It's gonna be Bloodbraid. Like, this is when I find it. After they Teferi me and I'm so behind. Alright, good night, everybody. It's gonna be the end of the stream. Oh my god. That's so stupid. Found it! Pog. Alright, Brutality hits Bring to Light. Bitter Blossom's gonna be great long game if I can stick it early. They're playing Utopia Sprawl. I'll play Cleansing Wildfire, even though I know they're playing Ren and 6. They're playing lots of tutor effects like Bring to Light and Fetches, and then they're also playing Uro. So it seems like we're bringing in 12 cards here. Let's take out all of this really, really silly spot removal. It's kind of hard because like I need to have ways to interact with the Omnath. So like I need ways to kill it. Maybe Cleansing Wildfire just like isn't the move. Like if they Utopia Sprawl, then obviously it's pretty good, but if they don't, then it's just bad. I almost like just playing one Terminate as an out to all the stupid creatures. Yeah. That was so stupid. Let's play first. Yes, I would. Turn 2 Blitter Blossom. Alright, well they named red, so they're not going to Teferi bounce my Bitter Blossom. Inquisition would have been nice last turn, but better late than never. I mean, Inquisition opens up other avenues. Like, I can Inquisition plus Tarmogoyf next turn. Now I definitely think I'm playing a threat. Ooh, Ashiok. I just have to do that. I guess I don't actually have to get their fetch out of here. I mean, losing loyalty could be a liability in that Run and 6 may eventually ping it down, but I think I want to get rid of this Misty, at least for sure. I mean, Ren may be occupied with all the fairies. We hit some good ones too. I like minusing Ashiok targeting opponents because like if they're playing singleton like tutораbles, then it can be good to hit those. But I don't think the opponent necessarily falls under that category. They are playing Eldamri's Call, so it's possible they've got a few bullets, but I don't think it's super likely. Helix? Yep. It's one way to deal with it. I have another fetch. Darn. I mean, Spellbomb is a way to deal with it. You know, I've got my pressure down. It's possible I should just be playing the Spellbomb and then I could hold up an activation. I can't ooze hold up an activation. It's Inquisition. Let's see what this tells me. Tells me nothing. It tells me they're going to Niv me next turn. So I guess what I should be doing then is I should probably just get this Tarmogoyf down. So that way next turn I can Liliana Edict, then get a hit in. Which means after edicting the creature, Goyf is going to be 4 power, so I don't have to single out an attacker on a Renin 6. This can just go to them. A single Goyf hit next turn on the Renin 6 will kill it. They messed it up. They can't cast Niv. And we drew Thoughtseize. They have Temur between these, so they need to make black and white with these two. This doesn't make either of those. Wow, they messed it up. Alright, well, I guess I'll take the Niv. This is a 5/6 now, yep. I think they just scooped. Alright. I guess I should have been more careful with how they fetched. They just assumed that they had all the colors. I think I'm just resubmitting. Yeah, I guess they figure they have like what 7 or 8 minutes left on the clock. They just won't have time to do it all. You got a keeper. We don't have the clock, but we've got the threat package. 1 mana disruption would be great. Inquisition or Thoughtseize. Okay. So you're telling me there's a chance. Alright, we get to take the Ren. That's something we haven't gotten to do all the other games. Pretty good. So now we get to put ours into play. Our Renin 6 into play. I get the Tomb since we have basic Mountain in hand. They've got Trophy, but they don't have the mana to cast it, so I think I'm okay. Just throwing this into the possibility that it could die. We got our value off of it. Darn, they hit it. So they may just want to go for it immediately. They might Uro here, but I think a priority would be getting our Ren and 6 off the table. So this is probably a decay. Yep. And they do have a trophy for the Ashiok, so I should probably just Brutality, take away the trophy. Ooh, that's going to be able to also get rid of the Uro, but I'm pretty sure I want to get the trophy gone, so that way I can Ashiok next turn. Trophy gone. Ravine. Go. I mean, this is going pretty okay. Uro as expected. Alright, so they're niving next turn. Unless I draw Thoughtseize. Which I don't. Alright, well I should probably still get Ashiok down. At least get the Uro out of the way. Hit some good ones. Things that would have been hit with a Niv. Gonna need the Liliana or the Terminate now. Peatland Anat. So I can Brutality to take the Lightning Helix, which at least draws an attack towards the Ashiok. It's not looking good though. I mean, also taking the Lightning Helix means I'm gonna get to have my Scavenging Ooze live. I mean, I've got another turn where Liliana is a relevant draw. I'm assuming they wanted to fairy bounce my ooze here. It's on the free side. So this fetch shocking puts me to 14, which has me dead to 2 hits and a Helix or some Ren and 6 combinations. I should probably just save the life where I can. I could not exile this now just so I can have the 3/3 on the way back down, but I think I'm gonna be using my mana on stuff for as long as I can. I need to hit Liliana of the Veil like right now or the 1 terminate. Got another look at it. That doesn't look at it because they've got a Teferi in play. Guess I'm recommitting Ooze. Liliana? Nope. I mean, I can attack the red and 6 and then good old-fashioned second main phase Bloodbraid Elf to get the Cascade. Got a Helix anyway. Brutal. So it's Kaya's Guile. Flash and a Deafening Clarion. Yeah. One more turn to hit it. I'm on a 5-outer. Zero outer. I guess I could still just draw it. I had 2 looks on it in theory, because if I could kill the Teferi, I could second in a Bloodbraid and actually get the Cascade. What do they even hit with this? Not that, not that. I just hit so much stuff. Yeah, I don't think I'm beating that. Alright, and I just missed anyway. I mean, this league has just been really, really hostile. We've played against 3, I don't think 4. I think we played against 3 Euro decks. Maybe it was 4. Keeper. We've got kind of the dream curve. Only thing, I think like Bolt would be preferred as like an Inquisition or Thoughtseize, but outside of that, this hand is very good. Alright, well, if they're ad nauseum, this hand less good. Still good. I mean, turn 2 Goyf, turn 3 Lily is a way to win. Oh, it could just be Neoform. Wow, this has been a league. It's like 3 or 4 Oro decks and Neoform. Just gotta hope they break now. I mean, the hope here is that they try to go for a Lab Man win instead of a Coiling or not Coiling Oracle, no, the double blue thing. There's pretty much no chance that I get to do that though, because they're probably just gonna be able to Nourishing Shoal again, and then just pay 7 life to redraw in response to the Bolt. Went 2 top. Damn it. Pretty self-explanatory boarding here. I guess the only thing that's a little unclear is, do I want third Lightning Bolt or third Renin 6? In a tight race, both can go to face. And there are some scenarios where if they're going off with Gristlebrand, you can maybe kill them in response to a shoal. So I think bolt's probably a little bit better, but not by much. This is a good one. Double hand disruption into a fast and sticky threat. I guess the question is, what am I bottoming between Bloodbraid and Pulse? It's probably just Bloodbraid. If they have Leyline for some reason, I'm going to really just need to lean on this Pulse to kill the Leyline. If they don't have Leyline, I could end up with a good time. Okay. Overgrown Tomb. So I'll take the Neoform. That's the combo piece. Their hand's not that good. I should be able to pretty safely play Tarmogoyf next turn instead of second Inquisition. I'll just take a land out of my deck to do it. Disruption and clock. That's what I gotta do. Alright, no Veil of Summer, please. Cool. Take a redraw. And there is instant in the yard, so bolting them now doesn't do anything. They just scooped. Sure. Yeah, I mean they're pretty far from winning. I mean, I guess they're only an Allosaurus Rider and the Neoform away. So I mean they need to go runner it. They need to runner it, but they don't actually have to do it immediately. If I've got additional disruption, which they didn't know that I don't, then they do have to runner it. Yeah, this is quite literally the nuts. I guess the only thing nuttier is if this Bloodbraid were a Liliana. Alright, and Serum Vision's turn 1 means they're not going to be Veil of Summering this Inquisition, which is excellent. And then depending on the texture of their hand, given the Inquisition, that can inform whether or not I want to Tarmogoyf or Damping Sphere on turn 2. And they went top bottom with that, by the way. Jeez, so they have the Allosaurus Rider. They just needed, well, they kind of have it all. I just need to take the Neoform then, right? They went top bottom, so I guess what would they have topped with this hand? Maybe it's backup Neoform. If it's backup Neoform, then I'm just dead. Alright, so if they draw the Neoform, I do just die, so I think I need to deploy Damping Sphere now to make sure that doesn't happen. If they try to go off, they can't. And I did mention in the deck tech, this is one of the reasons why I like playing Damping Sphere. This was specifically Neoform, the new Belcher deck, and all the big mana Amulet Titan Tron stuff. Clock assembled. Go. Alright, so now we hope that this Damping Sphere holds the wall long enough for the Goyf to put in work. We can Bloodbraid next turn, but we won't be cascading into anything meaningful because the Cascade spell does get taxed by our own Damping Sphere. But very, very clearly the Damping Sphere being better against them than it is against us. Alright, so it looks like I get to just play another Tarmogoyf instead. And then on the next turn, I can Bloodbraid and then maybe even Cascade into something. But yeah, they're gonna need to find an answer to the sphere and have combo. I mean, I'm assuming they're playing they play the destroy an artifact thing with cycling. This could be that. No? Okay, well, they're probably not Manamorphosing into anything, given that Damping Sphere makes it cost extra. They've also only got one more use on each of these mines. They may need to put a blocker down soon. Sphere is doing the business. Alright, what do they exile? Pact and Eldritch Evolution. Alright, so as far as I know, this is their hand. So we got instant sorcery land in the yard. This is Neoform. Yep. Gonna have to beat a Gristlebrand the hard way. We are dead in 2 hits as well. Gonna need to find Liliana of the Veil. Liliana is gonna be our best bet, I think. There are 4. How about a Bolt? Not quite. I guess I'll leave up Stomping Ground. If I hit Ooze, I can have a green available, and this also leaves up the option for Bolt. Liliana, please. Do I want to not cast Bolt so I can cast that? I mean, we don't know that it actually hits anything. There are only 2 cards the opponent has. Does holding up Bolt have any value? Not even sure that it does. I mean, if I want to Bolt and then draw Bloodbraid and cast the Cascade spell next turn, then I will want to Bolt now. I mean, I've got the other land. I'll just say no. I mean, Damping Sphere was good. I got Gristlebrand in play anyway. So they're going to hit me, go up to 25. I can hit them for 8, 11, 14. Get them to 11. Not quite good enough. I guess Pulse is also an out. But they could Veil me. They could Veil me if it's Liliana too. Because this is digging for Veil. Veil makes it really, really hard. Jeez. Ain't doing anything else. It's got to be Liliana. It's got to be Pulse. Nope. They even just discarded a Veil. Disrespect. Jeez. What a league. One and 4. Not good. Alright, so I'll do a quick recap. So I played my no-nonsense list, and we got absolutely handled. We played against Neobrand, and I don't remember all of the other decks, but I know at least 3 of them were Uro decks, while 2 of them were Omnath and or Niv-Mizzet decks. So just a whole bunch of absolute terrible matchups. I think Neoform actually not a super bad matchup, given we've got like turn 1 hand disruption, we have fast sticky threats, and we have powerful disruption later on in the curve like Liliana, Maelstrom, Pulse, Kolaghan's Command, but we just didn't really see any of that. Obviously a pretty disappointing league, but I think outside of Neoform, the most stupid deck I think in the format, we just didn't hit a single good matchup. And I mean, if leagues are going to start looking like this, then I don't really think Jund is going to be continuing to put up results. Obviously, every league doesn't look like this. This has been the most Uro-oriented league I've had in a long time. We managed to even get at least a match off of an Uro deck by some strike of luck, but I mean, it just did not feel good. This particular league, nothing really lined up well. We drew both of our Terminates a few different times in matchups where they just did not do a whole lot. We drew lots and lots of removal, and versus the Uro decks, just removal is not really a good way to win the attrition war, because at its core, Uro is a mid-range card, and it's probably the best mid-range card in that. And every time it touches the battlefield, you're gaining 3 and drawing a card, and both of those modes pretty relevant in games that sometimes come down to a damage race, but definitely relevant in most of the games that come down to a resource battle. The Klings were probably one of the better cards that I played this league, just because every opponent we played against except the Neoform deck had something relevant to hit. We didn't see the tracker, unfortunately. We didn't see very many Bloodbraids. I think I cast like 3 this league. And about the same with Liliana. Oh, I remember. The 5th deck was Bogles, and we lost to Bogles because they had their Leyline. So yeah, all in all, just like no interaction was had pretty much this entire league. Obviously, like the Uro decks we kind of interacted against, but ultimately we 1-for-1 and 2-for-1 as much as we could, and then they just like drew their Uro, they drew their Niv-Mizzet, they drew their Omnath, and then just like all of the 1-for-1 and 2-for-1 payoffs. All the 1-for-1 and 2-for-1 that we had been doing for 5 or 6 turns just disappeared and evaporated. So I mean, there just wasn't much I think I could have done in this particular league. The matchups were just so atrocious. I think Bogles and Neoform probably like at least 50-50s in my mind, but we didn't win the coin flip this time around, and I don't think there was much I could have done to win the coin flip, and outside of either build the deck differently or mulligan more aggressively. But I do think we kept very defensible hands. Like in that last game versus Neoform, I kept turn 1 Inquisition, I played turn 2 Damping Sphere, and then I played a Tarmogoyf on turn 3, and it just wasn't good enough. So I mean, sometimes that's just how it shakes out, and gotta be okay with it, or do something about it by means of playing a different deck or drastically changing something, or just hoping to dodge the matchups in the future. So that said, that's going to wrap up this very disappointing league. I hope, regardless of the results, you still had fun watching. I still definitely had some amount of fun playing, definitely sweating it out versus the Niv-to-Light decks, somehow not drawing something. Both players not drawing something for like 10 or 11 turns was absolutely insane. But yeah, there was definitely some heart-pounding moments despite the result, and I still had a good time. So I hope everyone has a good rest of their evening or morning or night or whatever time it is for you when you're watching. And until the next time, Jen them out.